But first, I do want to speak about our sponsor for today, and that is going to be Yahaha. So you guys do know that I do like my video games. I know that the audience here does like to play games too after they do watch a few football matches, which is why I do want to introduce this sponsor for today. This is a new user-generated content creation platform where you're able to create and publish your own virtual experiences. So you're basically able to build your own world, and within a very immersive way. So as you do build your own world, your own games, there is still no coding creation that is going to be needed from you. It's very user-friendly. You can add whatever type of assets you do want, and again, build your own games. It's a very fascinating experience. And then lastly, it's very social and it is very, very fun. You're able to bring your own friends into your own creation, your own games, and make friends anytime within this platform. So I do want to thank Yahaha for sponsoring this video. And if you do want to download this platform here, there is going to be a link down below. You will be able to have early access to download Yahaha, and you're also going to be able to download this platform for free. So I hope you guys do enjoy it. But now let's go back into the video. Lewandowski is going to be receiving a 3-match ban. Now I'm going to be very upfront when it comes to decisions like this. This is a horrible decision within my opinion, right? I think that this is a mistake. This is proof yet again that the league is rigged, right? It is rigged, and this league is built for Barcelona to lose. That is just my opinion. We have seen too much evidence. We have seen too much for us to not say that this league, right, the Spanish league, is rigged. Sometimes we're supposed to be getting a penalty, but we don't end up getting a penalty according to the ref. Sometimes we concede a penalty supposedly to the ref when it was never supposed to be a penalty. When a player likes to foul us in the middle of the pitch, the ref acts like it is nothing, like nothing really did happen, like one of our players never got tackled. And sometimes we have players from Barcelona that receive a red card or a yellow card that were never supposed to get anything in the first place. And now we sit here today to see that Lewandowski has received a match ban, but for multiple games, for a total of 3. But like for what? Again, things like this and decisions like this is the reason why I believe it is Barcelona versus La Liga. Barcelona against always Real Madrid. And so let's talk about a few examples. We can see Vinicius here in this picture pointing at one of the players from Cadiz, basically touching him. You're never supposed to touch a player in that way. And the ref was like, okay, this is fine. No card, no yellow card, no red card. Keep playing. We look at the other example. We can see Vinicius yet again acting up, telling the ref, are you crazy? After the ref awarded Sevilla a penalty against Real Madrid. And Vinicius again was like, are you crazy? Estás loco? But like I have said, there were no consequences. We go to like another moment. All of these moments that I am talking about here, it has something to do with this season. And there are numerous amounts. We could talk about this like for the next 20 to 30 to like maybe even an hour. But going back, right, let's talk about the next example. Ancelotti was at a post-match interview and he was basically explaining that the ref made up a penalty. He invented a penalty that was never supposed to happen against them. And Ancelotti said this in front of the press. Like he said this to the media for like the refs and everybody within La Liga to hear, and only for us to find out that Ancelotti, the coach of Real Madrid, did not receive not a single punishment, no consequences, no nothing, right? After Ancelotti has put shame on the ref and said, you invented this penalty on your own because we did not really do anything. Can you imagine if this was Xavi Hernandez? Can you imagine, let's say this was 5-6 years ago, it was Luis Enrique. One of those coaches from Barcelona probably would have gotten a match ban or like get dismissed for the next 4 to 5 games. But when it comes to Real Madrid and their coaches and whatever they do, or when it comes to the players and whatever they do on the field, nothing, no consequences. You can act like whatever because again, the ref is supposedly on their side. And you know what's so funny about this, right? Like let's look at these two pictures here. This is what did happen recently when it came to like Barcelona's most recent game. We look at what Osasuna and their defender did against Marcos Alonso, which they basically tackled Marcos Alonso like if this was the NFL. Like if this player from Osasuna was a quarterback or like some defender, whatever you call in those positions within the NFL. He basically tackled Marcos Alonso onto the ground in our own box, and we were supposed to receive a penalty. It was a clear dirty foul. According to the ref, he did not really see anything. And then you look at the picture over here on the right side, you can see Lewandowski just doing like some sort of gesture to Xavi Hernandez, not really saying anything, not really doing anything wrong, did not do anything to the ref. But guess who was the one that received the 3-match ban? It was Lewandowski, not the player that literally tackled Marcos Alonso onto the ground with his feet, with his hands, and his whole body. So it's crazy how things like work within this league, and this has been going on for the past 7 to 8 years, right? This league was built for Barcelona to lose, to see Real Madrid prosper. This is how these group of men hinder the progression of FC Barcelona. Like I don't really like to talk about like me being a conspiracy theorist. I don't like being and sounding like a conspiracy theorist because I make this channel to talk about football. I don't really like talking about moments like this because I know that that this does get a lot of dislikes. YouTube does not help me when it comes to pushing this video and promoting this video out there into the YouTube algorithm. Like, I really do not like talking about topics like this. I love to talk about football. I love to talk about how this specific team played, how Barcelona played, what could we do moving forward in order for us to get better. I like talking about tactics. I like talking about formations. But when we see massive favoritism going for Real Madrid, seeing that this league is becoming very, very rigged in front of our own eyes, this has to be talked about, because once Barcelona, and this is only if, right, if, but once Barcelona goes into second place again, if it ever ends up happening, I'm not saying that Barcelona is going to go into second place for sure, but if it ever ends up happening, I want us to understand, and I want you guys to know that these little moments that we are seeing here, and what I called out here in this video, is the reason why Real Madrid might potentially go back into first place, is because they're trying to nitpick these small little details in order to get their main big objective, which is to put Real Madrid back on top. And then now we'll know how Real Madrid got to first place in the first place. It is because these refs and the league are on their side, and it is so clear. This is why it's so important for a team like FC Barcelona to always be 100% throughout the whole season. Now, that is almost impossible. There is no such team as a team that can go 100% in every game for like the full 45 games that we are given. That's just almost impossible. There is no such thing as a perfect team, but Barcelona have to strive for that, because if we do not do that, then yes, Barcelona might not win any trophies, and especially La Liga. That is just what comes with being and representing FC Barcelona. We have to be very dominant. We have to perform at a very high level, to the point where not even the ref can stop us from winning trophies. So it's crazy, right? So now, knowing that Lewandowski is going to be out for a total of 3 games, Lewandowski will not be available for the game against Espanyol, which will take place on December 31st in my time, which is crazy, which is going to be a day before we get into the new year. And then he's also going to be unavailable for the match against Atletico Madrid, right? Look, understand this agenda, understand what these people within the league are trying to do. They're trying to take our best goal scorer away when Barcelona do face Atletico Madrid. He's not going to be there against Atletico Madrid when Barcelona is going to be away. And then also, lastly, he is not going to be there for the match against Real Betis. Again, you see this agenda. It is so clear on what they want to do. They're trying to take our best goal scorer, the player who has been scoring about 1 goal per 90 minutes, and make him miss the match against Atletico Madrid, make him miss the match against Real Betis, and hopefully they pray that Barcelona lose a couple of points. So that is it, right? I do want to speak about another topic within this video now, knowing that I have some new information. I want to talk about the Spanish national team. I'm going to be talking about the Spanish national team, like when it comes to the preview and how they should be lining up for their debut match later down this week. But I want to talk about what did happen recently, because a couple of hours ago, Jose Gaya did encounter an injury. He had a knee sprain, according to multiple reports. Now, there is going to be another test that will be done in the coming hours, and maybe in about 4 to 5 hours, to understand just how long Jose Gaya might be out for. Now, you guys already know why I'm bringing this up, and this is putting a huge smile on my face. Let me tell you guys, if Jose Gaya does end up missing the World Cup, let's just say, for example, Jose Gaya is out for about 2 or 3 weeks, you know damn well that Luis Enrique is going to want to call up a brand new left back that is from Spain, and you guys know exactly who that player is. It could be Alejandro Balde. Could Alejandro Balde really be called up by Luis Enrique due to a miracle? Not for the player, right? Unfortunately for Jose Gaya, he has gone through a very dark period, and I hope that he does get better. But for us Barcelona fans, if Balde ends up going to the World Cup through this miracle, it would be crazy for Luis Enrique to choose this player. Now, he has a choice. He can either choose Marcos Alonso or Alejandro Balde, but we already talked about this before. Assuming if Gaya does end up leaving the World Cup squad, I think that Luis Enrique is going to be going for Alejandro Balde, because he is simply just a much different player. And to be very honest, if Luis Enrique really wants a true left back, it would be Balde, because when we talk about Marcos Alonso, he's not necessarily a true left back. He is someone who can play as a left wing back and also as a third center back on the left side, but never really as a left back. So if Luis Enrique wants a true left back, it would be Alejandro Balde. The only concern I have, though, if this does end up happening, is if Balde does actually get called up, right? And then only for us to find out that Alejandro Balde gets injured during the World Cup, and then we're left with no left back going into the second half of the season. Yes, we're going to be having Jordi Alba, but do we really just want to rely on someone like Jordi Alba to play with us day in, day out? We need that extra layer, right? Because Jordi Alba is also going to be in this World Cup. He can only handle so many games. After coming off of the World Cup, it's going to be very hectic. And again, I think that we need a fresh left back on the left side after Barcelona do come back. And if Balde goes to the World Cup and he gets injured, we're going to be in jeopardy. And I really don't want that to happen, because Alejandro Balde has been a spectacular and a very extraordinary player for FC Barcelona in the first half of the season, and it would really suck if he misses 45 to like 40% of the second half of the season. But that is just me being very cautious about this player. Hopefully everything does go well, and we'll see how things do evolve. But first, a special word from our sponsor.